So I see those very strange people who want to take over the world currently in Switzerland, making their plans for world domination. Davos, I think it is, where all these people from big business and various political parties and even the mainstream media, I think, are gathering en masse to make their special magic plans that obviously are going to benefit the rest of us because they're all ever so nice people. I believe it was somebody from that strange organisation that came up with this very bizarre phrase that you would own nothing and you'd be happy. And I thought, that's a very strange thing to say, isn't it? You'd own nothing and yet you'd be happy. And I thought, well, hang on a minute, well, how would that be if I owned nothing? That means I wouldn't have a house, or I wouldn't have a car, wouldn't be able to go to work, wouldn't be able to do anything. I'd be out on the street. I'd be getting very cold. And that wouldn't be very nice. I would find that after a length of time, I probably would perish. So I couldn't see the advantage of that. And also a number of my friends would be doing the same, which would be a bit strange. Surely we would probably all club together anyway and try and find some sort of shelter, even if it was under a tree. So I thought this was a bit strange, this you will own nothing and yet you'll be happy. But then I thought, hang on a minute, maybe there's a philosophical message in this. Maybe it's not quite what it sounds. Maybe what it's saying to you is that actually we own too much, that actually you can be happy with fewer things, almost nothing. See, if I go up onto the South Downs and have a little stroll where I am in Sussex, it's absolutely beautiful. You get up there and some of my fondest memories, some of my happiest moments are climbing up that hill, being a little bit out of breath, getting up to the top and feeling, wow, look at this. I'm on top of the world where I am. It's only 600 feet, so it's not really that high at all, but the illusion is there. Or I'll walk through a forest, through a beautiful glade. There'll be all these magical trees and maybe there'll be all sorts of bits of animals, not bits of animals, I mean actual animals like squirrels and things like that, darting about. Maybe I'll spot a deer, something like that. And I'll think, wow, isn't this amazing? This is all free. I see all this. It's lovely. And it's absolutely true, that I am happy with that. I'm watching my children growing up, laughing, joking, taking their first steps, discovering new things, asking questions of me. Yes, those moments, they're free. And it has made me incredibly happy. But I would still need to have somewhere to go at the end of the day. I'd still need somewhere for my children to sleep. I would still need to have a job to earn some money to be able to feed these people. And so I still think that you'd still need to own something. Without it, I don't think I would be happy at all, which is very odd. Again, looking at this philosophical side of it, perhaps we do have too much stuff. So there's got to be a base where you own something, surely. But maybe we've got too much clutter. I know that when you're born with nothing. And when you die, you can't take it with you. So in a way, you only borrow stuff anyway, don't you, for the duration of your lifetime. You only really borrow things because you as I say, you can't take it with you. However, during your lifetime, having something gives it meaning, doesn't it? I mean, if you've worked really hard and you've got that house, you finally, after 25 or 30 years, whatever it is, you've paid off the mortgage, you own it. There's a little bit of security in there. And if you've got children, you may wish when you go to be able to pass it on, to help them, to get them further up the greasy pole of life. And they may be able to take some of that and pass it on. So owning something actually gives it meaning. It gives you security. It gets you through your life. And if you have offspring, you can pass something on. Maybe there are heirlooms. I mean, I have an heirloom from my father. I have heirlooms from my mother. They may be only tiny little trinkets, but they remind me of that person. They're important, and I own them. I own them. I don't want anybody owning those things and then renting them back to me. That would be very odd. What a strange notion that is. To have something and have purpose, to own it for yourself and cherish it and look after it. That to me is important. We have our own little chunk of the world. We have something. And yes, when we go, we have to hand it over to the next generation. But isn't that what life is all about? We're here on this planet, we procreate, we create another version of us that goes forward, and what we can give to them, whether that be something solid or a piece of wisdom or whatever, that's important. So I'm a bit concerned and a bit worried that this notion that you'll have nothing and you'll be happy, I think is a little bit contrived. It's a little bit odd. So anybody who comes up with that sort of thing, whether they happen to be meeting in Switzerland or wherever, deciding what the future for everybody else is, I have to say, I would be cautiously, well, not even cautious, I would be not trusting that sort of notion. To have something, not a lot, but to have a few very simple basics is important to people, and I think it should stay that way.